We also have amongst us representatives of the Royal Eswatini Police Service reps. Also amongst us we have representatives from the Voice of the Church. We've just seen our pastor, Reverend Mtetwa. We also have the media. I've seen the Times and the Observer. They are here with us this morning. We also have amongst us representatives of the Eswatini National Provident Fund. We also have someone who represents the Women and Children Hospital or Clinic. Also, we have representatives of Eswatini Water Services Corporation. We also have representatives or the leadership of various ratepayers associations in the city of Manzini. We have Extension 6 Ratepayers Association. We also have Ngwane Park Extension Ratepayers Association. I guess the others are still on their way. I'd also like to give special recognition and welcome to our regional administrator, Ngosi Chief Teacher. We appreciate your presence, Ngosi Kapulu, in our meeting. Thank you very much for making it to this meeting. We also would like to appreciate the presence of our Member of Parliament for Manzini North, Umhlonishwa Markford Sibanze. Again, we really appreciate your presence, brother. Thank you very much. Now, to also recognize Chief Executive Officer of Business Eswatini, Nanaye Lokona amongst us, brother Inati Damini. We appreciate you as well, Kosi. Thank you very much. I'd like to quickly move on and introduce the councillors that are here with us, as well as members of executive management who are here with us. I'd first like to introduce the Honorable Mayor, His Lordship, Councillor Quintin Els. And I'll better with Amane Asubume Stombona Sogan. Please clap for him as he stands. Councillor Els is also a councillor for Ward 10 in our city, which is Coles Valley. I'd also like to introduce our Deputy Mayor, Councillor Sandile Nyaweni. I'd also request him to stand. He is also responsible for Ward 5 in our city, which is Sikunyana and Dunja Township, Nuray Camp, and the area around William Pitcher. I'd like to also recognize the presence of our councillor for Ward 11 at Dolopeni, who is Councillor Ketobuhle Dlamini, naye ndamcela Nkosi Tsamana Subume simbone. He's responsible for Wilma Park. Some of us refer to that one as Extension 7. Is also responsible for the area around the light industrial area around Bohab and all of that Bosalision going down towards the Bosco village. I'd also like to recognize the presence of Ward 4 Councillor Siboniso Nkabinde, was responsible for Ngwane Park Township, Ngwane Park Extension, Dikangweni, Ndumbu Township, Sihlahleni, you name it. They are all under his ward. I request him to stand as well, so that we can all see and appreciate him. Thank you very much. I think last but not least for now, I'd like to recognize the presence of a councillor for Ward 2 in our city, Councillor Mduduzi Vilane, who's responsible for Chiloni Park, the RFM mission and the area around Sokuza Clinic going down to Borontanya Apartments. Thank you very much. I would like to then quickly recognize our executive management who are here with us this morning. I'll start with the captain of the ship. She told me recently that at some point when she was young, she dreamt of being a pilot. I think that's a common dream for every child. So now she's piloting this plane. I'd like to recognize Lungile Dlamini, our Chief Executive Officer. I'd also like to recognize our Finance Director. Is one of the main men in this room this morning because of the nature of this meeting. Babe Mfanafuti Mamba. Thank you very much. I'd also like to recognize the presence of our Director Technical Services, Mr. Madoda Dlamini. Lastly, I would like to recognize Babe Zwelima Pranga, who's Director for Community Services in the municipality. Thank you very much, Betnene. I've taken much of your time. We really appreciate you, and I can see our Regional Secretary, Nanaye Siabonga Wakulungosi, for joining us in this meeting. We appreciate your presence. Thank you, Gaku. To request our Honorable Mayor to come forward and greet us and welcome us to this important meeting.
Program Director, Minister of Housing and Urban Development Representative, Manzini Regional Administrator, neighboring traditional authorities, Housing and Urban Development Parliament Portfolio Committees, Manzini North Member of Parliament, our esteemed stakeholders, Deputy Mayor, Honorable Councillors, Manzini Council CEO and management, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am pleased to be afforded this opportunity to stand before our valued stakeholders and say a few remarks on behalf of Council. I would also like to express our sincere appreciation to you all for taking time off your busy schedule so that you could attend this important annual general meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, as a municipality, we believe that great milestones can be achieved when good governance principles and practices are applied throughout our organization. That is the reason issues of transparency, accountability will always remain key in our agenda. Additionally, that is the reason we always look forward to this moment wherein we get together with our varied stakeholders and give an account on the performance of the municipality during the previous year. This is a time where we report back to our stakeholders about our success stories, challenges, and future outlook. Notwithstanding the harsh realities that we have experienced as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we have continued to fix our eyes on our vision, that of being a vibrant African city that innovatively provides quality service and economic opportunities to its stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say that there are a number of lessons that we have picked up as a municipality as we continue to ensure the COVID-19 pandemic. These have necessitated a shift in the way that we do things. As a result, we have found ourselves with no option but to revisit our 2019 to 2024 Integrated Development Plan, the IDP. The IDP is an important document for the municipality as it provides a framework for city development. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO in her remarks will highlight some of the strategic projects that we have had to reprioritize going forward. We trust that our stakeholders will continue giving us all the support as we commence our new trajectory. One of the ways through which we will be able to deliver our vision is through collaborations with our stakeholders. As a municipality, we have adopted the public-private partnerships, PPPs, approach as a development catalyst for our city. That is how other cities globally have achieved development. We are hoping that through this approach, we will be able to implement most of the projects that we have been reprioritized in the IDP. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is a time that the municipality needs support from its stakeholders the most, it is now. If we continue holding hands and work together, we will continue achieving great development strides as the kingdom's hub, despite the pandemic. May I also take this opportunity to express our most sincere appreciation to stakeholders and the entire citizenry for cooperating with the national government and the municipality as we continue to fight against COVID-19. We've had a number of COVID-19 waves coming our way, in the process putting citizens' lives and the economy under threat. Had citizens neglected the heed to the call for all citizens to practice the COVID-19 hygiene protocols, we would not be where we are today. For that, I must really thank you. On that note, I would like to express our heartfelt condolences to our fellow citizens who have lost their loved ones to the pandemic. We trust that the Lord, our God, will comfort us all. May I at this juncture take this opportunity to encourage citizens of Manzini to press forward with the fight against the virus. Let us ensure that as many citizens as possible do take the COVID-19 vaccine so that we manage to achieve herd immunity and get back to our normal lives. I am happy that today we have in our midst leadership from all the neighboring chiefdoms. I trust and pray that the same spirit will prevail even in the peri-urban areas, because whatever happens in our neighboring communities has an impact on the city. As a municipality, we remain humbled by the support that we have received from partners such as Business Eswatini and the national government. It is through such collaborations that an extensive vaccination program has recently been rolled out, not only in the city of Manzini, but the country at large. On that note, may I emphasize that whether or not you have taken the vaccine, it is still critical that you observe the COVID-19 preventative measures until otherwise advised by the national government. I conclude my remarks by reassuring you, our valued stakeholders that as council, we will continue to uphold our commitment to serve the city of Manzini with integrity and a high standard of good governance. With these remarks, I would like to welcome you all to the 2021 Municipal Council of Manzini Annual General Meeting.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mayor, for those wonderful words of welcome that you have shared with us. Indeed, Manzini is developing at a very fast pace, and indeed, we really need collaboration, partnership with our stakeholders for us to be able to take the city even much greater heights. Siyabonga kakhulu Honorable Mayor for lawo magama lawo. Ngingabaniki our next speaker on the agenda. I would like to recognize Umbalengosi, who has just joined us, Senator Chief Prince Mpatwa. Siyabonga kakhulu Ngosi, we really appreciate your making time for this meeting. I'd also like to recognize the presence of representatives of Elwandle community. Those are our neighbors, traditional authorities in our neighboring Elwandle area. Siyabonga kakhulu Babe Vilagati for being here. Now we really appreciate your presence, Babe. We have also just been joined by representatives of the Manzini Regional Football Association. As Nanabo, we appreciate their presence. Also, we have amongst us representatives of the Eswatini Revenue Authority. Is it called authority or service? Or maybe not yet. But Njasiyabonga kakhulu SRA for being here. We appreciate you, Gakulu. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed stakeholders, I would like to request our Chief Executive, Magelungile Dlamini, to please come forward. Sekatos challenge how we performed in the last financial year, which is 2020-2021. Thank you very much. May you please welcome her with a hand clap, please.
Program Director, our Manzini Regional Administrator, Chief Peter, our Member of Parliament, Manzini North, our neighboring traditional authorities, Namakanga, Elwandle, Honorable Senator Prince Chief Mpatwa, our regional RS, our Ministry of Housing representative, our esteemed stakeholders, my Honorable Mayor and Deputy Mayor, our councillors, management, and everyone who's here is so important. Our media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Namhla we will conduct our work in English, mainly because we are being live streamed globally. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, so all our partners globally are watching our meeting this morning. As an introduction, I will be reporting on the 2020-2021 report, and I'm hoping we all have it in front of us. And those that are joining us virtually, the annual report is there in a soft copy. It is a pleasure for me to present the 2020-2021 annual report in this form and in this important platform. The purpose of this meeting is that we are always looking forward as a municipality to come and report back, and we want to ensure that we share our performance, no matter how good or bad it has been, to our valued stakeholders. Accountability by us is key, so we understand the importance of this meeting, and it is part of our corporate governance measure, where we have to account for programs and financial performances that have taken place within our organization. Our main mandate as a Municipal Council of Manzini, notwithstanding the disruptions caused by COVID-19, the COVID-19 outbreak, we managed to maneuver and deliver and ensure that we produce according to our mandate. The mandate of the municipality, we find it in the Urban Government Act of 1969, whereby Section 55, Section 1, it has quite a number of responsibilities that we have to ensure that as a municipality we adhere to. One is to control, manage, and administer the municipality, which is what we do on an everyday basis, and to ensure that we maintain and cleanse all public streets, open spaces vested in the council or committed to its management. We have to abate all nuisance within our city. We have to ensure, safeguard public health and provide sanitary services for the removal and disposal of night soil, rubbish and carcasses and dead animals and all kinds of refuse. As part of our mandate, we also have to ensure that we establish or take over and maintain, subject to extent of its resources, any public utility service which is authorized or required to maintain under any law which is required for the welfare, comfort and convenience of the public. So what's very important for us is that everyone who stays in Manzini, the welfare is taken care of, they are comfortable and it is convenient. Development, control and management of land vested within the city is also our responsibility. We also have a mandate to establish, take over and administer, subject to the extent of its resources, housing schemes for inhabitants of the municipality. But generally, we have to promote public health, welfare, convenience, and development, sanitation, and amenities of the municipality. For us to do this, we need to ensure that we put in place a clear strategic intent, which means we have to have a strategic plan that is clearly stating where we're going. So I will state our strategic intent, and our intent continues to be driven by the desire of developing the city to a level where all its stakeholders are able to enjoy a quality of life, live in harmony, and have improved economic activities. That is what we want to see Manzini as. Our vision as a city Vision is what we aspire to be now and in the future. It's to be a vibrant African city that innovatively provides quality services and economic opportunities to its stakeholders. Our mission, which is what we are currently working on a day-to-day basis to ensure that we deliver our vision, is to provide quality municipal services that add value to all our customers through good governance and when partnering with relevant stakeholders, which is you today. To do that, we have a set of values that we put together, that we identify ourselves with. And our value number one, given the global context at which we are as a city, is innovation. We're an organization that is committed to have innovative ways in order to develop new solutions that meet customer needs and expectations. So we're always trying to ensure that we move, we're flexible to ensure that we meet your needs as our stakeholders. Accountability is also our key value. We are an accountable organization that ensures optimal service delivery to the satisfaction of our stakeholders, interested parties. We also want to work as a value in integrity. We are committed to honesty, and we want to adhere to the highest professional and moral and ethical standards as a municipality, still trying to deliver for you. Inclusion. We don't want to work alone as an organization, so we ensure that we value full participation of staff, community, and individuals, and embrace all forms of diversity. So we really work hard on ensuring that all stakeholders, all groupings, everyone is included in what we do so that we deliver according to your expectations. Our strategic plan, our strategic direction has pillars because the work is vast. So we had to draw down certain pillars, themes by which we are working on. The first one was institutional capacity development and growth. That is so key because for us to deliver all the mandates that has been stated, we need proper capabilities within our space. So institutional capacity development and growth has been prioritized to ensure that the people that are working within the municipality have capabilities to deliver what you as our stakeholders expect. Stakeholder management is also key. We do not want to work alone. We want to work hand in hand with you. So we're trying so hard to form relationships and to ensure that we manage all our stakeholders equally and everyone is satisfied. Urban planning and sustainable human settlements. This is key. It's also a very major delivery in the UN's SDGs. So as a city, we want an orderly city that is well planned, that is going to be a global city, that will provide you with a good quality of life, and we ensure that we have urban planning and sustainable human settlements as a pillar within our strategy. We also have a pillar of sustainable environmental management. Environmental management is key now with the global warming, climate change issues. So we aspire to be a green city, to be a city that ensures that environmental management is taken care of at all levels of life. Integrated economic development. As a city, we know that we are the hub. We are the economic hub. Most people, regardless of where they are, when they want to come to a city, they are coming to Manzini. So we want them to come to Manzini and find opportunities. So we have an integrated economic development pillar that works on the economic needs of our city. We are also, most important, an integrated infrastructure development pillar which looks at sustainable infrastructure to make sure that the infrastructure of the city going forward is infrastructure that is for a city, a vibrant African city that we hope to be, and that we think we have already started to be a vibrant African city. So that being said, I will start now and present on what we've done for 2020-2021. What I have been presenting was just an introduction of who we are and what we do and how we do it. So the presentation guide here, the reason seeks to highlight the activities that happened between the year 2020 and 2021. An annual report in summary will enable the guide that is in front of you, and those that are virtual, they have it online, will follow, I think, department by department. This is meant to better manage time allocated for the meeting and to enable time for discussions, because what's important after I present are the discussions, because the discussions will actually provide us with a way forward on how we should continue working and meet your expectations. So the programs for 2020-2021, I'll start by discussing the strategy and policy environment. For us to be able to ensure that we work in integrity and good corporate governance, there needs to be a clear policy environment that's in place. So we have enterprise risk and internal audit. By the end of the year, the organization was preparing for its infrastructure development internal audit cycle. So the organizational enterprise risk register was reviewed and updated in line with the internal audit. So the risk register is there. It identifies the risks appetite for the municipality. So we sit down and we look at the risks for any of our programs. It could be financial risk, it could be any risk. Then we put solutions, potential threats and solutions are identified for us to be able to deliver. So that was done in the year. Disaster risk reduction initiatives were also key. In the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, the municipality facilitated the following measures. A COVID-19 task team was established, and its main objective was to coordinate COVID-19 preventative activities within the organization and citywide. I should say that we worked hand in hand with the RA's office, and we were able to deliver and are still continuing. It hasn't stopped. COVID-19 pandemic guidelines were formulated and executed. A COVID-19 action strategy was developed, and which we are aligning with as a city. With regards to support mechanisms, this mechanism supported the municipality to implement the programs in the city to ensure that we remain alive to what is pertaining within our city. We also have an indigent policy. An indigent policy was developed with the process of providing guidelines for how the municipality should deliver services to support indigent people in the city. Indigent people are the people that we feel, that we know that are vulnerable. City life is expensive, and we put together an indigent policy that will guide how we treat our indigent population within the city. Corporate governance initiatives also took place, and we had corporate governance trainings. We have programs that work towards solutions for those customer needs. So we continually test the effectiveness of our effectiveness by having customer satisfaction surveys. And for this year, we had 382 of our stakeholders participate. We also have training projects. As a city, you can't learn everything in class. You have to go to those who you want to be like and find out what has made them work. So through lots of integrations with many cities, we're trying and find out cities that have like a similar fiber to Manzini. And right now, with regards to the sister city relations, we have benchmarked with other cities, and some are working on having formalized exchange programs, and some we already have. So we have Lancaster City, Texas, which we are finalizing with. We have Mohale City in South Africa, which we are also formalizing with. And we have Matsapa Town Council, because we've realized that in a global space, Matsapa and Manzini should actually be one. So now we have partnered so that our planning of our activities are integrated, so that nationally the impact of the two cities, towns and cities working together, there'll be a bigger impact with regards of what you do than working in silos. So we partnered, and I think as stakeholders you'll see the results of the partnership within the next 1 or 2 years, because we will integrate what we do. With regards to local economic development, this is key with regards to where we are as a country and as a world. The higher level of LED program focused on conceptualization and implementing of 3 PPPs, public-private partnership projects. Firstly, there's a Fairview mixed-use commercial center. The municipality has partnered with Inyatsi Construction Group for the development of the mixed use. Public scoping, marketing research, and other feasibility studies have happened. What we're trying to do, we're trying to have what we call holistic communities. If you stay in a community, let's say you stay in Fairview, you need to be able to go to your local church in Fairview, do your shopping in Fairview, have everything in Fairview, so that we bring back the livelihoods. Our children need to know each other. We need to be a community. So for each and every township, we're trying to ensure that we put together the society and have all their needs in one place, so that they are able to grow up and build lively and progressive communities. So this is our first, whereby we are partnering with Inyatsi. And we're seeing that happening in Gwale Park as well. And we'd like to see this type of neighborhood development, human settlement, sustainable human settlement happen all over the city. We're also in the process of construction Bosco Bridge through PPP initiative. This is a Southern Distributor Road package, which is undertaken by A.G. Thomas. So to alleviate the congestion in town, we're connecting the Gwale Park precinct to the Bosco precinct, so that when you do not need to go into the city, we are Estegi, for instance, you do not need to drive into the city. So this will alleviate traffic, and also it will bring economic activities along where this road is being built. What we've seen and what happens globally, once you improve the infrastructure in terms of roads, also the commercial activities grow and the viability of that community becomes better. We also have our Kosi Township residential plots. Through partnership with Swaziland Building Society, the municipality managed to facilitate the sale of 98 plots to Emaswati, and who have commenced establishing their homes. This is one of our very successful first housing developments, and it is looking very nice when you see Emaswati building beautiful houses and that property being delivered by the municipality. We are excited. Then with regard to legal safety and security, we aspire to provide a safe city, and we really have quite a lot of activities around there. But Council works through the business of Council. Council managed to have 12 Council statutory meetings in the year, 5 special meetings, meetings for developmental and service deliberations, and 54 resolutions were passed in the reporting period. So ngingasho ukuthi Council meets once a month, last Thursday of the month. I should state that stakeholders, the public, is invited to come and sit in the gallery and listen to what the municipality is working on, and listen to the decisions that our councillors that you have chosen, the work they do. So in the year, there are 54 resolutions that were passed. Legal matters. The municipality was involved in 4 legal matters. 2 cases were decided in the magistrate court, and 1 industrial court, and 1 in the high court. With regards to safety and security services, the municipality continued with ensuring public safety and nuisance abatement, where the following activities were taken. 273 stray cattle were impounded. 5,584 cases of illegal street vending were actioned. This talks to the economic position of Manzini, that we are seeing the increase of street vending in the city. 67 cases of littering were reported and actioned. 109 noise-related service requests were actioned. So we have security that ensures that at night we move around and ensure that the quality of life of our residents is sorted out, because the noise pollution can really destroy a person's life. Crime prevention initiative. The municipality collaborated with relevant stakeholders in the fight against criminal activities in the city. A crime prevention session, only one, was facilitated for 84 council employees. 2 awareness sessions for contracted companies. 3 crime prevention forums were facilitated for the Manzini business community. So, Banikati Bema business. With regards to human resources and administration, quality management, the municipality continues to implement the maintenance of the ISO 9001 of 2015 standard, aimed at ensuring that our services meet the needs of our customers. The municipality underwent external certification the audit by TUB was South Africa, to ensure that we maintain the standard. For us to maintain this quality standard, what happens is that there's a flag that we fly to show in this institution we've adhered to the standard. And if they come and have an external audit and they find that we are not aligning, what they then do, they then remove the flag, then we need to know that we are now not certified. Employee wellness in ensuring balanced health wellness of the workforce. That was done. Breast cancer awareness, World AIDS Day, COVID-19 sensitization and sessions still continue even now. How did the municipality respond to the COVID-19 pandemic in the year that we are talking about? We developed and implemented a working from home policy. We provided face masks for all our employees. We installed hand sanitizer stations at strategic locations. There's also continuous disinfection of offices. It can be reported that 11 municipality employees were infected by COVID in this period. Training and development continue. We have employees that are doing management programs, MBAs, and strategic leadership, and also customer care. We also have a turnaround strategy that is currently ongoing. 70% of the employees have been migrated to a new structure. We put together a new structure that will ensure that it delivers the new strategy. Due to COVID-19, some of our projects were rescheduled there. With regards to complement, we have a staff complement of 231 people. We have mass separations people that have left the municipality as 8. We have 6 recruitments. We have 3 that have retired, and we have 1 person that has passed away in this area that we are reporting, in this time that we are reporting. With regards to infrastructure services, we have a capital investment project. During this period, it was mostly done, we did preparatory activities. We installed a high mast light at 2 sticks. We redesigned citywide roads infrastructure for phase 1. Should state here that this coming year, for us to be able to then work on the roads, they first have to be designed. So in this year we did the preparations by doing designs for the roads. So we facilitated a PPP construction, which is currently now underway. Reconstruction of Samuel Street Bridge, which is in Gwana Park, is actually underway. Installation of LED lights were done. Construction of Pendry Park, also done and finished. Installation of palisade fence at Cemetery B, which is Gwana Park, and we're still working on it. Road maintenance. We partnered, fortunately, with Conco Eswatini for the rehabilitation of our 7 social centers within the city. We should say that we feed about 1,500 to between 1,200 to 1,500 per day. We feed our children in our kitchen. So Conco came through and we rehabilitated our centers. They are looking pretty now. Building plans processes. In this year, we processed 179 building plan applications. And the worth of all the applications, the buildings that were proposed, was 150 million. With regards to community services, for you to be able to have some certain uses in your plan, in your property, there are processes that you need to go through. There's a special consent process. Let's say you have a house that you live in, then you want to turn it into a preschool. You have to apply for a special consent. so that there are 9 special consent applications that were processed in the year. Subdivision processing, there were 6 subdivisions. We are also working on urban boundary extensions. The municipality managed to put together an extension plan. We're hoping that by next year, this time, we will be celebrating the extension of our boundaries. 393 farms measuring 4,900 hectares in total are proposed for the expansion. So Emma farm this I 393. Establishment of a new cemetery. We were inundated by the need for a new cemetery, and we are currently working towards planning finish of a multicultural cemetery, which will be able to take on all the different cultures that we currently, as we are a cosmopolitan society, diverse society. So we realize that as a city, we need to have a viable global cemetery. We are working on it as we speak. Public scoping was done. The public stakeholders to come and comment, and we put out an advertisement for people to come and comment on how they would like to see the cemetery. EEA was conducted, so we're hoping that next year we will be celebrating our first multicultural cemetery in Manzini. Laboratory, we have a laboratory in the city, and it tests water and food. So if you have a borehole anyway, our stakeholders, and you want to test the quality of your water, please come through to the municipality. We have done 707 water and food sample tests. We go to the restaurants and we test. Our mandate is to ensure that public health is taken care of. Sanitizer testing, what we've done, we've had 1,418 sanitizer testing, because as you move in and out of shops, you find they spray you with sanitizer. So our mandate is to ensure that it's 70% alcohol content, and a lot has been found there, I should say. Food safety, we are working on food safety. We don't want you to come to the city and eat food that is not okay. So food grading program is there. 198 food outlets were looked at and inspected. 731 food hygiene inspections were facilitated. 252 outlets were found to be operating under unhygienic conditions. 407 non-food establishments were inspected. 77 were found to be operating under non-hygienic conditions. Also, council managed to process 144 health reports. Furthermore, 5 food handlers workshops, trainings were held with the formal and informal sector. We ensure that after we do our inspections, then we train you on how to comply. Waste management. During this period under review, the municipality did collect waste. We had 7,396 tons of waste that were disposed at our dam site. Healthcare risk waste, even 22.86 tons. Special waste, even 1,596 loads of skip. Liquid waste, even 39 loads of skip. Recycling, because we also do a lot recycling. 169 tons of disposed waste was recycled. Overgrowth control. As a city, we have a challenge of overgrowth control. What happens is that people buy properties and they don't then take care of them. What then happens is that then forms a threat to the neighbors and a threat with regards to crime. The municipality conducted citywide inspections and identified 117 properties that had overgrowth, where notices were issued for non-compliance. Pound services, 1,029 stray animals were impounded during this year. There were 2 auctions that were held and 20 livestock were uncollected. Healthcare services. The municipality continued to provide healthcare services through the filter clinic. We do have a very good clinic with a doctor in the municipality, and Langvelase HIV and Health Center, those services continued. 3,445 people were provided with counseling and testing at our facilities. Condom distribution. We continue to distribute condoms under our HIV program. 559 condoms were distributed at strategic points in the city. And ART support, 15,519 people were provided with antiretroviral therapy, ART services. Youth peer education continues. We can't stop, it continues on issues of HIV. 1,139 people were reached. Welfare services. The municipality continued to provide food, social support for 1,500 children in our 8 social centers. Now we're going to look at capital projects. I'm about to finish. Our capital projects add to the big projects that we have. Our dream is to tar the whole city, and our dream is to ensure that it is walkable, cyclable, and that's our dream, but we'll do it a bite at a time because of resources. So 2022 to 2024, there's the development of the Southern Distributor Bosco Bridge, the upgrading of Mhlabubane Street, Southern Road, Mimosa, Dikuba, Kosehlaza, Ngwane Street, Namasalesi Kudleni Street. All these streets are part of this project that we have just started. We are also doing designs for Phase 2, MRCBD Road, which is Central Business District. Wotenbergen, Esselen Street, Mangushane Street, Tikuba, all those are part and parcel of what we want to have done by 2024. Stanley Street is also one that we expect that it will start very soon within this financial year. Nemenchis Bridge, Nemenchis Street as well. It's part of our program. We've also constructed the Autism Center, Phase 1 and Phase 2. It shall all be done by 2023. Phase 1 is complete and for occupation, and soon it will be launched. Extended development, Fairview, mixed-use commercial center. There are also other major commercial centers that are coming up that we haven't mentioned because we're accounting on the year 2020-2021. All this happening, there's no way we cannot have challenges. So we have encountered quite numerous challenges, but our job is to ensure that we mitigate and we continue. So in low payment of rates and incurred bad debts, economic upheavals which affected the investment in city, constrained user fees charges against escalating service delivery costs, rains and storms, COVID-19 pandemic outbreak, illegal dumping and littering, and just generally non-compliance of city regulations. That being said, I'd like to thank you for your attention, and may the Lord bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, CEO, for such a detailed and very interesting, very exciting presentation. I really enjoyed the last part of it where she was saying where we are going. She mentioned Stanley Street, she mentioned Manchester Street, Dikuba Road, and many other projects that have been pegged for the next 2.5 excuse me, for the next 2.5 years. I think that is really, really, really exciting. It's been quite a long time sitting. Perhaps we need to just a 2 minutes leg stretch in readiness for the next presentation, which I want to believe will not be that long. Just 2 minutes, say hi to the person sitting next to you. You might be sitting to someone that you've always wanted to meet and Stakeholders, may I have your attention once again? May I please have everybody's attention once again, dear stakeholders? Okay. Since we don't have the luxury of time, I think we need to, at this juncture, resume our meeting so that we are out of here in time. Remember, there is COVID-19 and the associated regulations that we are all expected to observe. Without wasting much time, I'd like to request our Finance Director, Fanafuti Mamba, to please take the podium. He's going to present the financial side of things.
It's a statement of financial position. Then we'll be looking at performance in terms of payment. Well, in the municipality in particular, we collect rates, so we'll want to see how we're fared in terms of payments of our rates and what effect that has had, especially on the debtors that are now owed to council with regard to rates. We'll also be looking at issues of the payment platforms that we have as a municipality, because what we want to do, want to ensure that as a municipality, you are able to transact with us at the convenience of your home or your office using your preferred platform whenever you are transacting with council. Maybe let's start with the opinion of the auditors. After having audited the financials of the municipality, they then expressed their independent opinion, saying that in their opinion, they believe that the financials of the municipality were prepared in all material respect in accordance with the requirements of the Urban Government Act and also the General Accepted Accounting Principle. So Your Worship will once again present a clean audit from the auditors, which actually give the comfort to our stakeholders that funds within council are administered the correct way. Let's start with the statement of revenue funds, which is our income and expenditure statement. I will just give a highlight of how we fared during the year of between 2020 and 2021. If you look at our revenue, the figures are quite comparable for the 2 years. There's just a slight drop, which I will explain briefly how it came about. And also, when you look at our other income from other sources, we saw a rise of about 1.7% from 8.1 million the previous year to 8.3 million in 2021. With regard to grants and subventions, we also saw a rise of about 13.1%. We reported 4.6 million the previous year. In 2021, the grants and subventions were at 5.2 million, bringing the operating income to 94.9 million for the year under review, which is a slight drop of about 0.1% from the previous year of 95 million. Going to the expenses, we saw our expenses falling, reducing by about 10.5%. We're at about 73 million in terms of expenditure last year. It went down to 65.3 million in 2021. We will see then our operating surplus going up to 29.6 million, as well as our surplus for the year to 25 million, highlighting a rise of about 47.1% from the previous year. Probably you will realize that the jump in the surplus for the year is as a result of the drop in our operating expenditure. That 10.5% drop in operating expenditure, that gave rise to that surplus for the year increase. Maybe trying to explain a bit how maybe these figures came about. We said that our rates dropped from 82.1 million last year to 81.3 million. Well, the figures are quite comparable between the 2 years. The reason why there isn't a major change between the 2 years is the fact that there wasn't any increase in terms of rate tariffs between 2020 and 2021. And also due to the effects of the pandemic, trying to mitigate the situation, the municipality effected a waiver on rate penalties during the year. So there were no rate penalties during the year as part of mitigating the impact of COVID. So that's why the figures are somehow comparative without any increases during the 2 years. When we come to other income relates to issues like vending fees, toilet fees, and scrutiny fees, those kind of fees. So those are other income within council. So we saw a rise of about about 200,000 or so, from 8.1 million to 8.3 million. We have to say, Worship, that it wasn't a good year. 2021 wasn't a good year in terms of revenue from other sources. The main source of income from this line was actually a reduction in bad debt provision. I will explain maybe later how we had to reduce the provision for bad debt, but there was a reduction of about 2.3 million in bad debt provision, which actually upped that figure to 8.3 million. So you will realize that if we didn't have that provision being reversed of about 2.3 million, in terms of collection from other sources of revenue, we will be around 5 million. This shows that maybe the municipality had a tough time collecting revenue from other sources during the year, probably due to effects of COVID-19. In terms of grants and subvention, the rise from 4.6 to 5.2 was as a result of grants we received for the construction of the Autism Center, which we received from the government. This slide we are trying to explain probably the increase from, or rather the decrease from 8.2 million, sorry, from 82 million to 81 million between the 2 years. You will realize that when it comes to penalties, penalties and interest, actually there was none for 2021 yet. In 2020, there was 3.9 million. So there was just a drop of 100% from 3.9 to 0. But we are glad that we are almost comparable, even though there was that waiver during the year. Coming to the expenses, we had highlighted that we had 65 million this year, a drop of about 10.5% from the 73 million that were reported last year. We can report, Your Worship, that in terms of overhead expenditure, we saw a decrease of about 9.1% from 26.8 million to about 24 million during the year. And in personnel costs, there was a slight increase of about 2.5%. We are 34 million to 34.9 this year. And bad debts provision, we provided about 6.6 million in bad debt last year, but this year we felt that the provision that we already have, which is around 26 million, was sufficient, so there was no need to increase the bad debt provision. So it's a zero there in terms of that expense. In special expenditure, there was a rise of about 74% from 2.6 million to 4.6 million. By special expenditure, we mean those expenditures that are somehow capital in nature, that might not be big capital projects, but they are also capital in nature when you look at them. Maybe we'll touch a few of those as we continue with the presentation. We also saw the Office of the Mayor leading by example in terms of tightening our belts. We saw it reducing the expenditure there by about 1.2%. And also we didn't have any loss in terms of disposal of assets this year, resulting in that 65 million total expenditure. The overhead expenditure that I'll talk about, we saw a decrease there. Probably that decrease was due to a decrease in construction costs during the year. Also, there was about a substantial decrease in subsistence and traveling expenses. The CEO did touch on twinning. As a municipality, sometimes we twin in other cities, but this being a COVID year, probably there was a decrease there. And also there was also a decrease in construction because there wasn't much construction during the year. In terms of personnel costs, we also reported a 2.5% increase That increase was as a result of a 2.2 once-off payment to employees, as we didn't have a cost of living adjustment during the year, but there was that 2.2 once-off payment that was effected. I've already touched on the provision for bad debts. That last year we provided about 6.6 million as provision for bad debt, but this year we didn't provide anything as bad debt. We felt that the provision that we currently have in our financials of about 25.9 million was sufficient to cover those debts. We feel that they are bad at the moment. In terms of special expenditure, we also saw a rise there from about 2-point-something million to 4 million. One of the issues that we can highlight was the fact that during the current year, we had a general valuation which cost that almost over 700,000. We also had increase in terms of premiums, insurance premiums, by around 900,000 during the year. Also, the CEO, when was making her report here, touched that we are also trying to ensure that we have a new cemetery and a pound. So those initiatives cost the municipality over 400,000, hence the rise in special expenditure. When we come to our balance sheet, we saw a slight increase in terms of our assets, especially on property, plant and equipment, from 281 million to 285 million, which was about 1.7%. It shows that there wasn't much in terms of capital expenditure during the year, hence the slight increase, but there were some projects that were done. And also in inventory, it increased by 18.1%, with the rates and other receivable decreasing by about 29.7%. Maybe one needs to state here that during at the beginning of the year, we had about 66.6 million as rates and other receivable as outstanding rates. But we were able to receive quite a substantial amount from the general ratepayers as well as from the government. Hence, at the end of the financial year, we saw a decrease in terms of outstanding rates from 66 million to about 46.9 million, which was about 29.7%. It was really a substantial drop in that line. Our cash and cash equivalents, we saw a significant increase as well, because at the end of last year, we had about 586,000, but by the end of 2021, we had about 19.2 million as cash and cash equivalent. Maybe going to equity and other liabilities, we can report that we saw a drop in our borrowings from 43 million the previous year to about 28.5 million this year. I have indicated that during the year there was some receipts we received from the government as well, from the general ratepayers, which were able to ensure that maybe it brings down those borrowing during the year by about 34%. We also saw our trade and other receivables dropping by over 55%. Last year we reported that we had about 14.1 million which were being owed by the municipality, but by the end of the year in 2021, that figure had dropped to about 6 million, which was a significant drop during the year. I've already said maybe some of the things that maybe the property, plant and equipment, that slight increase of about 1.7% that I reported about was due to construction of a few roads which amounted to about 3 million during the year, as well as the construction of the autism center, whereby I did say that we did receive a grant of about 1 million, which was used towards the construction of that center. The rates and other receivables dropped significantly due to money received from general ratepayers as well as from the government paying those long outstanding rates to well over 57 million, which was able to reduce most of the outstanding debts we had in our books. The cash and cash equivalents were increased as a result of the receipts that we received from the year. That also helped us in bringing down our borrowings, because we were then able to ensure that at least 17.7 or almost 18 million was used towards the payment of our borrowings which we had. And also were able to pay our trade and other payables during the year, reducing them from 14 million to about 6.2 million during the year. Maybe let me come to this slide and just look at how we've been performing maybe over the past 3 years. You will realize that our performance in terms of general ratepayers, in 2019, the rate of payment was about 85%. We saw a drop in 2020 to about 73%, and a further drop in 2021 to about 69%. Well, we can attribute that to the effects of COVID, but we want to believe that maybe as we go forward, that ratio will increase. But there was a significant drop in terms of people paying their rates to council from about 85% in 2019 to about 69% in 2021, which affected us a bit, especially in terms of cash flow for funding operations. If you look at the government in 2019, it was at 70%. It dropped also in 2020 to 68%, but then we saw quite a rise in terms of payment from the government in 2021 to about 183%. This had an effect on the debtors that were being owed to council. In 2019, the debtors stood at about 56.6 million. Because of the drop that happened in 2020, you realize that both the general ratepayers as well as the government actually recorded a drop in 2020 in terms of their payments of rates. It then increased our debtors to about 66.6 million in 2020. But what happened in 2021, even though we had the effects of COVID affecting mostly our general ratepayers, the coming of the government in terms of upping up its payment record, we saw a decline in our debtors from that 66.6 million to 46.9 million. And we believe that if we can all put effort as our esteemed ratepayers, and I trust you that you're going to do this, and pay that 46.9 million, those projects the CEO was saying we wish them to be done within the next 2 years, surely we can be able to achieve that with that amount that is being owed to council. Let me conclude my presentation by saying that as a municipality, we want to be relevant. We have this adage that says that we are inspired by excellence. So we want to be at your service, being inspired by excellence when it comes to transacting with us. We want to ensure that our stakeholders are able to transact with us with any platform that is there. So make sure that there is nothing that hinders you from paying your rates and whatever service that you want from the municipality. So we've got quite a number of platforms that you can use, and we want to encourage our esteemed stakeholders to ensure that they take advantage of the platforms that are there. If you feel that there is a platform that you are comfortable paying with, but maybe council is not offering at the moment, you can come to us. We will make sure that indeed we also employ that platform so that you'll be able to transact. You can pay cash. We do have the race hall with us there. You can use your bank, whatever bank you are using. You can do it direct debit. We have accounts with all the major banks in the country. You can use Momo and Imali, debit and stop orders, card swiping, EFT, whatever, you name it. You want to make sure that even if you are a vendor sitting at your business, you are able to pay for your dues in council without even moving an inch from where you are. We want to be relevant. We want to make sure that we are there partnering with you in ensuring that the city is developing. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention. That's the end of my presentation. I thank you.
Finance Director, for that report. Indeed, we are not doing so bad. Actually, we are doing well. That's my take, really. Thank you very much. I think now we have come to the stage where we shall be taking comments from the floor, questions. But I must say that we are not going to be responding to every question. because some of them you'll find that you'll need to go back to the office, take a real look of how we are going to respond to them, and then we'll respond through our communication platforms. We have our newspaper space every weekend in the Times of Eswatini and Eswatini Observer. We are also present on Facebook, Manzini News, that's our platform. Even by SMS, we are going to share with you our responses on that platform. So please make it a point that you fill out the attendance register that is circulating, so that you do receive those responses through by SMS. At this point, by a show of hands, it's okay to ask in Siswati, it's okay to ask in English as well. Someone will be noting all the comments that will be coming from the floor, and we then shall respond to those that we feel that we can be able to respond to at this moment, and then others will respond to later on. Thank you very much. That's a good my comments. But I know kukhona lofuna ukusikhomenda nje, just to commend the municipality for a job well done. Okay. Please just mention your name, Margaret, before you start.
My name is Vicky Mumalo, chairperson of Extension 6 Ratepayer Association. Ngicela ngikuthi ngibonge omabili ama presentation. The CEO did a good job, and our finance naye kuhle kakhulu lesikuvile. Ngifuna kubonga ngibongele ukuthi ngiva ukuthi uhulumende ufake imali kule autism center, ngoba bengiyangibuke ngithi le mali yethu ingabe kwenze njani. But makusho ukuthi usibambisile uhulumende, we are hoping that a lot of people will be helped ku autism center, but we still need to do a lot of work. Thina baka health sifundise abantu more about autism. Finance person, work has been done, and I appreciate your report kakhulu. Kuningi lengikuvile, ngiyaweva nalama improvements la tawuba khona la emigwaqweni. We can't wait for the bridge leya ngale eNgwane Park. Some of us wish it were going to be ready tomorrow because of the traffic lesibonako. I thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mage Ngumalo, for those comments. Indeed, you shall see that bridge. Rest assured, you will see that bridge in no time. Yeah, well, please mention your name as well, Babe.
My name is Louis Ngumalo. It's not a family affair though. Ngicela ukubonga for the presentations that have been made by the CEO as well as the finance. The concern yami kula, which I would say it's matters arising from the report. Kokuqala, budget, we were involved as Extension 6. Sacela nathi ukuthi si-upgrade, but out of all those submissions, not only the last budget, but even previous ones, Extension 6 is still not mentioned anywhere. Siyababona labanye babala laba-upgraded, but Extension 6 has been left out. Secondly, ngicela ukubonga mayelana ne-collaboration with a Mapoisa, as well as other stakeholders for water was SEC. I think the two meetings mentioned now and again, Lamanya has affected Umkwako. But it is disappointing good space about Shia Manjalo, who cards without those roads, that infrastructure in Akalungis. Bese has affected as ratepayers. Kwakudina ngoba i-platform akusiyo yami. Ngicela kucela nje ukuthi more especially ku-illegal street vendors. Kube nendlela mhlawumbe esingabasita ngayo because yebo bazama impilo noma bayizama ngalokho. Let there be a way mhlawumbe laba empowerisha ngayo ukuthi bafundiswe how they can do it legally. And now nokufayiswa kwabo bangabe sebamuka nale mithwalo bese balahlekelwa kakhulu. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Babe Ngumalo. We do take note of all those comments and requests. We shall respond to some of them. Thank you.
Siyabonga kakhulu. Thank you very much, Program Director. Sibonga kakhulu ku-CEO kanye na finance, the whole presentation omabili cishe abe mahle. Mhlawumbe i-comment yami nje ilapha ku-stakeholder engagement. Lokuthi I think we can still do more there because I think previous, I don't want to say a younger Lumila CEO. I think and I don't want to say she's still young. But in I know Naga presenter finance touch on issues of financial constraint, which obviously are understandable, but it's not clear that their neighbors like they used to do. We had the CEO. They used to help us to my neighbors because kuba a thin line the separator, the urban landscape, and not lapha peri-urban. So bekahle nje as-attendela kakhulu CEO. Siyathi ke siyabona nathi ukuthi there's been so many constraints financial, but nje siyacela ukuthi nabakhona kuthola lelo thujana nje basite because lama problems ethu thina lapha a translator into them. Agcina ngena lana kubo letinkinga tethu. So bekungiloko nje maybe lokunye lekufuna ukucomment ngivela ka presenter lapha CEO wakhala, in fact akakhali ngibone leti nombolo tenyuka kakhulu lete cancel abantu. And then I began to ask my question ukuthi are we in a serious mental health issue in the country? Ngivele ti nombolo atibala ukuthi kuyacancelwa bantu better for cancelling, which for me loko ukuthi bantu bathi lokuthi sekune cancelling into lenhle leyo because silive asifanani nalamanye amave. Singila bantu lengathi sithatha ngathi nje kutawukhanseleka nje. Nemgcibelo bengcwaba make nomsombuluko ngisemsebentini ngikhathakala ukuthi ngibe productive. So sesinako lokuthokota ukuthi at least bantu sebayathi ukuthi there are so many issues maritally, there are so many issues financially, there are so many issues emotionally lendekako, but you can't say ukuthi asikhanseleki. But the bigger and from a broader social context lokho affect production umuntu nje in general. Mhlambe sota ngiphendula Shivakati lapha epage lakho lokuthi how do we deal with this mental health issue lekhona ngoba ngibuka ngathi ya escalate. Then the last one let me lapha. I think noteba ukuthi urban poverty is real. Nakata nje CEO uspendwa imali engaka kuyofeedwa and all that. But ke sengibuka ukuthi what can be mhlambe the bigger picture beside the feeding, especially whereby you find ukuthi lama dolobheni was struggling against a very harsh urban landscape. Kude nalendzawo kuletinye tindzawo tethu nje la sikhuma khona ukuthi ungalimalima ungendani. Ukuthi what can be the bigger picture yaloko. Yes, we feed the little ones, but thina ma MPs ngicabanga ukuthi not necessarily thina sodwa nababe RA has a story to tell, nababe RS has a story to tell, nababe Dlamini lapha ka BE has a story to tell ukuthi kunalabantu labadzala labalala ngalendlala. And ukanje ukuthi attention lenye iyehlela kakhulu ukuthi no we're feeding kids. And khona laba labadzala bona vele abakhona ukuthi bangaya bayofeedela. Lokunye sikakhuluma sesila basically bekungiloko nje. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mhlonishwa, that was lilunga leParliament for Manzini North. Mhlonishwa Markford Sibanze. Ndawucela ukuthi siqhubeke sikhumbule lokhu disho before we speak so that we all know each other really. Thank you.
Ngibingelela umhlangano ngisaba lodlamini kusuka la transport. Ngakuduma ngivele izinto lokunye. Siwari ngingana ngikwaphela ukuthi master. Ukuthi ngabe kumehleleni leno ukhona yini amaplaniseni ukuthi kusasa uhambe kulungiseke. Ngokuphuma nje la renkini ubhekele kulo central. Ithi sasa nje ngikwaphela lokho bese ukini. Bese lokunye si business. Sasa zidolobha yithi abasekhaya na business. Ungabe unako ngasekhaya. Congestion now related to the morning. Because also that the morning is taken in power. Kula market. Jenga bana ba business, msumada food. Good day na lo show, see utawa na development levanti. It does it for how long? So what big see what concerning
Thank you very much, Mr. Dlamini. We note those questions, but indeed, we should also figure a bit late. Something was mentioned about Major Street, which is the street layer Airwood Masters. Thank you very much. Yeah, Bobabe. Please mention your name first.
CEO, kwami ngithanda kubonga kakhulu uMichael Mustari Manzini as chairman Ward 4. Kwami ngithanda kubonga kakhulu kubona idolobha laManzini likhula. Thank you so much CEO. I-intelligence yakho uyaplya la sikufanele khona siyasikala siyabona sibona Manzini. Ama-point ami angithi ama-question nginembono lengiyifakako lapha lengasita bantu bakaManzini. Ku-Ward 4 angiqale nje ngaku-Ward 4. Ku-Ward 4 siyacela kunema-structures lapho ekuhlala abantu
sekude abantu abahlalayo bafana nabadakazo bantu bese bayahlumeka nabo labahlalela kahle. Okay, ngiyabonga ukuthi mphathekile. Kwesibili, ngoba ukuthi contribution again, not a question. Ngoba ukuthi si-proposal sibuya kwatfollow ukuthi abe nama-promotional items bantu batokubhadala ema-rates because lama-rates ngawo lapha wena ukuthi sikhone ukuphila dolobhani kakhulu. Sicela ama-promotional items abe khona ama-projects. Yes, ngikhuluma nawe before, but nyayo asibone abantu babhadala ema-rates. Lokunye lekucelako ngaba ukuthi si-business phela sifuna vele abantu babhadale ema-rates. Yes, bogogo bakhona ukubhadala ema-rates, but labo labakhonako asizame singenise luhlelo noma kusefana ukuthi ngalokho eParliament siyenze nje uhlelo lokuthi umuntu lofuna kwenta ibhizinisi nakusakuthe council akente esho ukuthi uhlelo ishona ngeke benefit CEO management da benefit that ngoba kwakho improve then sengiyakugcina then siyacela community leaders asengwane park regarding ama-street vendors thina singenile lapha sifuna ukubridge i-gap between bantu na-city council. You are not going to say there is city council or no what there to bridge the gap. So siyacela ukuthi mane city council nakithi bantu sikhona lapha sibaningi abanye basebenzela kahle sonke siqale ukuthi sikhone kuba nemali ngekuthi bomake bebathengisa lapha asibasponsorisheni bane bakhe letindwe requirement ya city council so amithe nama-governments ladingeka ngu-city council uqinisile city council but lesicela ku-city council again not a question kulokuthi ngosiyami phela nasebabaxosha bane basithinze sitokwathi bakhulumisa thina vele sidimisele ukuthi sidabagijimisi labo labede ama-structures afunekako ahlale akhona. Then again angathi ngoba besengishito city council ngibonga kakhulu CEO again lokuthi ukhombise intelligence partnership and specifically nemaphoyisa nabo be-transport lawo ma-partners amqoka kakhulu edrobheni because alusito kakhulu. Ngiyabonga.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think that's Ngwane Park Ratepayers Association. Okay. Thank you very much, Babe Gama, for those comments. Siyawa note, I haven't seen any other hand. Okay. Okay. Now, Telaguniga Babe, and then the Seniga Babe Inachi after that.
Municipal Manzini Society. Wamitaba official uthetha naye wakhuluma CEO wakhuluma ukuthi kunebhandara extension ngento akayigcine eyendekile. Esinye sicelo thina sibebhola thina bekunene ukuthi amanzini sine-shortage yemagram kakhulu zakhele is-overloaded mhlawumbe ezikwenteka lama-extensions ama-boundaries angihamba ne-consideration engaqhamuka from i-council ikubuke ukuthi ingasakhela i-stadium sakamanzini. Yes, nebhola yakamanzini nayo uya-council esikhuluma naye iyalungisa ukuthi khona le kodwa kungaba kuhle ukuthi sithole la council for residents yakamanzini. Lokunye kube naloko ukuthi kune-partnership nanyatha mhlawumbe ngiyena ngasita kakhulu ikakhulu sikamanzini sine-program yokuthi sende ama-juniors ama-under 15. Unfortunately inzawo yokudlala seyincane kuba ngizakhele kuphela
and labantwana akafanelanga ukuthi bamuve from lama townships abo bahambe. Kungaba kuhle ukuthi babe namaground kama-township lapha bakhona khona. So singacela ukuthi imali enisendele emaground itutane, so bona they just walk to the place labadala khona babuye emakhaya. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dlamini. From the sports fraternity, we do take note of those comments.
Ngiyabonga program director ukusungende isikhulumi sekugcina. The director is first of all to recognize some aware within sitting next to the esteemed man. Recognize their presence, and certainly to recognize mayor, management, and indeed my colleagues who are here. Firstly, let me give a personal account of myself that I am a citizen of this city for many years. My grandfather, I think I have told this story before, and allow me to tell it again. Because my grandfather came 6 kilometers away from here in 1920 as the first native settler in this area. Got married, my father, long history in this area. And I was born and raised here, traveled, but I live here now. So I have a personal attachment to this place, and my roots are inextricably planted in this city. And I watch carefully what is happening to this city, because it means something to me at a personal level, but also program director, it means something to me is this louder?
We want to believe.
Okay. It means something personal to me. Because of where I am, a business in Swatini, and I'm busy looking around this auditorium today. I see people who are part of this business in Swatini movement, as it were, which seeks to encourage investment in this country, but also create the employment opportunities which this country desperately needs, especially our young people, and especially during this difficult times in which we find ourselves. Social upheavals and indeed the pandemic, which has been extremely devastating and deleterious, especially to the economy, but also to our lives as well. We did not foresee that we'll find ourselves living the life that we're living today. None of us signed for this. But it is what it is, and it's something that we need to embrace. But having said so, Your Worship the Mayor, allow me to recognize certain things. There is always room for improvement in anything. There are areas for improvement in everything I do myself. And I hope people always point to those shortcomings so that I can improve and become a better man than I was yesterday. And indeed, with this council as well, there is always room for improvement. If you look carefully. But having said so, it has not escaped my attention some of the major achievements that this city has attained against the backdrop of a very serious pandemic. When I came here, as usual, and as a business person, you go say, let me see your financials. And I think everybody does that. I want to see your financials.
Because it's gossip. Show me the numbers. And that's what I've been. By the way, before even we made that presentation, I had dissected every page here in this book by way of financials. And it's amazing to me. Because I was thinking, am I looking at financials like Puma Municipality or a well-run company? Because, ladies and gentlemen, the financials are quite strong for a city. And I have seen many financials of cities I studied. And it is, yes, please, go ahead, give them a big. Because one, as a ratepayer, and you know, if you pay your rates, you always do it begrudgingly. In fact, in general, but that was what I'm thinking of so that you pay. It's like paying for insurance. You pay it begrudgingly. Who's now for the accident? So who's going to accident? Who's going to miss money? I'm half. But no, you paid for the peace of mind. The peace of mind is so expensive. And then the following year, you pay, no accident. And then one day you decide 10 years, I'm not paying you, so it's a madam, you say 9. Then you meet an accident. Just to say, being so long about no, you were not insured. The rates too, as ratepayers, we pay them begrudgingly. And I must say something, he's a businessman, the way he was talking. Because he said something like this, and it's very true. He said, pay your rates, because if you don't, that means I have to pay more. It is true.
Yeah.
When people don't carry their fair share, especially when they can, the others get punished for it. Because the escalations every year, in order to meet the budget needs, because others are not paying. We all end up paying for the sins of others. And I'm talking about those who can, but do not want to. It's very, very, very important. Mayor, what's important about a city? A city, especially like this one, is a host of investment projects. Every city in this country, especially this one. Top notch to attract investment locally, but also attract investment from outside. But it's but set up bese baqasha iyouth yethu ngobe nangabe lidolobha and indeed ama-raters isonke la sithatha asikube ngumsebenzi wethu, make it personal lokuthi sesifuqele ukuthi kwakhiwe emathuba emisebenzi lakhaya ngoba ngiyo lento lesicabangisa kakhulu. Our youth, highly educated, is running outside with no prospects for work. Kepatsine, Sila, sensibonise ukuthi if you can just tweak there and there, 9 projects after 20 people employed, tweak there and there, sikwende sisonke sibambisana. You will be shocked how much we can transform this country in a very short time. But at the end of the day, it begins with cities. And I just want to say, I am so proud. Look, I'm associated with excellence. I don't want to be associated with anything that fails. I always come here because once I see this thing, I want to be there. And it's amazing too. CEO, most young girls always aspire to become nurses. Kutsi when usukela kutsi ufuna bang pilot, of awufuna nje kuba stewardess sala planning. But to me, it also goes to the character. If you dream, you must dream big and you must be daring. And that's what I picked up when you say you were dreaming of becoming a pilot. And I said, that's so unusual for a young girl to aspire for a man's job. Well, something that's considered a man's job. The feminists in the house now say, hey, what's it in? You know. But that is the daring spirit. This is one of the excellence. The daring spirit that let's when often by pilot. So we support you. We say thank you for a fantastic performance at council, and we look forward to next year. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dlamini, for those amazing, wonderful, so motivating comments. I really don't regret making you the last person to speak. Well, in this set of comments, I'm not sure whether the CEO would like to respond to this before we take the next set. Okay. No, let's just take all the comments and then she'll speak at the end. Thank you very much. Nkalaknika Babe Dlamini.
Asibonge Program Director uMlangeni usibingelele sonke natafuleni nama-comments akhe asikavarisha sonke ushiye yinye nje ukuthi lidolobha lisebenza ukuthi lakhe i-partnership netinkundla yakhe netinkundla letimbili la edolobheni Manzini South na Manzini North. So siku-partnership ukuthi sakhe i-MMU letawukhona ukuthi nasibuya next year semanzini deliver much better.
Thank you very much, Ngozi. That's our regional secretary, Babe Dlamini. Siyabonga kakhulu. Where is my chief? And thank you for those comments, Lala Velalega YouTube. As the CEO mentioned, we are live streaming this session, and there's quite a number of comments that are streaming in. We are noting them. We shall respond to them in those platforms that I mentioned earlier on.
Program Director, I was in Council Senate, we had a portfolio committee, housing, all the stakeholders, all protocols observed. One good to look at me, I mean, Program Director, Bubonga, Director, Mbonga financials, na we are councils, which are very helpful. And I promise I will sit to look at their seven Mbonga staff and the council. Apparently, come back to the morning and go away with him. Ukunya Nicola, all the number size of one country, so we are contrast, we are the one. Also, take yourselves out. Plans, Bob, the middle plan, one or one year. Open and one, which in the mark concerns now, one black bewago, one and only for and Bewago would say, now, a problem, they do give their suggested solution. Bonara would see the Abajaswana and the Bukula put up on it. Nothing. sithi shamthetho lembele siyawo khona usisebenze sikhulume nosima stakeholders bethu angikanjani akhuluma kanjani ubonakala ukuthi nathi sisebenza nje into yabantu labahlelekile labahlanganisekile sasibonge lokho phathele kwami nje ngaba kunye kubuda nekuphathisa kulo idolobha laManzini ukuthi siyayibona nayo improvement yangena new look of face aManzini kungena umgwaqo omkhulu lapha ngendla lengena ukuthi ingabe ikhansele isebenza kanjani kuya ukuthi mhlawumbe what value is it going to add to a dolobheni. Maybe it might not be but it's a story for another day. Next year my financials are calling us out having again new face the interchange lana nemgwaqo lana what it's the impact in terms of flow of traffic, in terms of affecting our rates payers, in terms of affecting our properties abantu and Golf Course it is because it's part of the town. Never fix abantu ukuzibandle about stress akhona ngogolf ithi neplan ye-drop house sesibonile seyihambile seyidlekile sesitali mixakuphi and cishe ngathi lokho phinde ukuthi ngibone nento ye-wellness lenikhuluma ngayo exercise which is very recommend kakhulu nekusho sibonga ne-partnership khuluma ngayo CEO yaManzini and Matsapa Matubas ahlangane siyacela ukuthi kukwendele lokho amicably in the best interest of all lama stakeholders kungabonakala ukuthi laba yesekwanje sekwanje it is highly recommended ukuthi kuhlangane vele these two towns were so close and ayathelelana konke nje kubambisene konke kakhulu ukuthi siyabonga lokho sibonga ne-statement of revenue. It's very healthy. Nakunya ukuthi 47% indlela kuya ngayo yebo bona kuyasho ukuthi introduction of operation expenditure, but we're looking forward to next year ukuthi maintain the healthy in as much as we kusebenzela edolobheni kwaphina bedelile lenye imisebenzi ngacishe ngathi ngiyabona lokho chairman ngakhulu.
Siyabonga kakhulu Ngosi for those comments. We appreciate them highly. We are noting everything that has been said in this meeting, and it looks to me that there are no other hands or there are no other comments on the floor. Therefore, I'd like to request the CEO to please respond to those that she can respond to.
Thank you very much. And my honorable mayor and councillors and all the stakeholders of Fairhome. Kakhulu, I would just like to say for everything that has been said and done, as the municipality, we really give God the glory for ukuthi asibambe ahambe nathi abe nathi through a city doesn't sleep. So mawusebenta edolobheni you are working 24/7. So the fact that you are able to work and come with it and stand and account, it can only be God. And let me answer some concerns with the issue of the autism center. The autism center is a new spectrum. There's a say corner that is there in children, and we are hoping that it's going to be viable and it's going to come to assistance for most parents in Manzini and nationally until other autism centers are built, but it's going to, I think, start by November. It will be running. Then issues of crime, we still need to grow better our portfolio with our dream is to have a metro police, whereby as a municipality we also run our own police force so that we can be able to deal with the city issues in a way that is effective and quick and urgent. We're not saying but we're always looking for room for improvement as CEO businesses at Inashid. With regards to traffic, I mean, I always say give me one functioning city that has no traffic. The traffic ihambelana nesibusiso sedolobha. If a city is blessed, you'll find traffic. But our job is to ensure that it moves and it is managed. So right now we are trying to put together plans, some short-term, long-term, medium-term, for the traffic to flow. But we're hoping that with the extension of boundaries, there'll be a spread. Can I connect this one to the last one? Yini improvement that the Manzini is looking at with regards to the new infrastructure. There's a lot. Firstly, where the golf course was, we'll report in detail next year. There's a huge, like, mini city that's going up, and we believe we could see construction will be starting in a few months before December, whereby we have a mall, a shop, malls, hospitals and schools where the golf course was. We complement the ring road that is coming up. So that is going to be a huge city feel. When you just drive into Manzini, that's what you'd see. So we're expecting within the next 24 to 36 months, if you leave Manzini and come back after 3 years, you won't know where to go. and we're hoping that employment activities, quality of life for people, and then you can feel in jail which you are from the city of Manzini, it's definitely going to change. Then most important in Zaba MOU, I think as Manzini, we have a very good relationship with our traditional imiphakathi. For us, they just provide so much help to us. But as RS has said, let's work on towards formalizing it and make it an MOU. We definitely will do that because I don't think the city would survive without them. As we speak, as stakeholders, we need to say that for the city to be able to gravel the streets, to put gravel on the streets, we get them from our neighboring chiefdoms. So the city would not survive without them. We do have a very good working relationship. Then the issue of urban poverty is also a big one. The issues of food security. Many people in the city starve, children starve, and it's a joint effort that we need to put together to see how we can work even with the DPM's office. But we're working with our councillors to try and identify the really dire situations, because COVID is here, emaskas lamatima, for both children and the elderly. So we really need your partnership there. Yeah. ngasho ukuthi ama-comments ababegama siyawabonga. Thank you very much. We are really humbled. Sidayisebenta mawusho nje ma-promotional issues for ratepayers ngiyambuta finance ngithi yini ungathengi imoto batobhadala bonke fast, but you just never know. Lama issues at play at a personal level maning for the ratepayer, we know. But please come through. Don't avoid us. Come through and let's discuss and see how we can work things out. But all that being said, I'd like to thank Kema Comments, all Kema Comments Lendiwe. But we thank the partnership we have with Business Eswatini as well, because Sologafika Inati, usiyayibona le change and siyayibona le benefit, usideka kakhulu kuma issues COVID, and we'd really like to see this relationship getting better. I also won't sit down here and talk about those gosh. But I'd like to really publicly thank our RA for always partnering with us and putting us begetelele. And we should say, as our stakeholders, it's not easy to merge the rural and urban. It needs personalities. That's it, to merge it. So, sibonga nje lokuthi asemukele with all our different rules and regulations. And we thank you very much. And konke lokunye sitaphendula, because we still have to have an answering session. Sithathe ma comments like you should. We also would like to thank those that are virtually with us. We will respond on time. And I'd just like to give the mayor to thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you so much for the questions and comments. We highly appreciate. Mhlambe umuntu angathi, esteemed stakeholders, we as a council, we delight in discussing Manzini issues with you. Let us not wait for this time next year to come and discuss our issues. I would like to challenge you with at least once a week, concern yourself about what is happening in Manzini, the latest developments. You can do that. We have Manzini News, we have our Facebook page, we have councillors. Try to talk to them. It doesn't have to be a ward councillor. You know councillors by now, just that table over there, councillors are there. You can talk to them. What is happening in Manzini? Let us not wait for this time next year. Let us talk. It is very important that we discuss the issues. Otherwise, responses are going to be given on YouTube and on our Facebook page and also on Manzini News. Let us keep on talking. You are very important to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO, for those responses. Thank you as well, Mayor. I think your remarks round up our meeting. Siyabonga kakhulu nje nakini nonke. I really and personally thank you for cooperating with me. I think I've been one of the best program directors. It's all because of you. Siyabonga kakhulu bekunene. Ngawucela Pastor Oyinloye from the Redeemed Christian Church to please close the meeting for us with a word of prayer. But before he does that, I'd like to announce because of COVID issues, my refreshments are packed. So we have packed refreshments. The Starward folder as we go out of the room, just opposite the reception area by the bar side of the building. please collect your, just pick up your packed meal, and then enjoy the rest of the day, really. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, the program director and the management of the municipality, for this opportunity. And I want to say that from what the CEO said, nobody can achieve anything except the Lord enables the person. Psalm 127 verse 1 says, except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. I believe the Lord has helped us with this meeting, and it's something of great value to give him back all the glory. So I wish to humbly request that we all stand up to just say a word of prayer to the Almighty God. Father, we want to thank you so much. We want to bless and appreciate you. But thank you for how you have helped the municipality to achieve great things, great feats. You are giving them the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding to make sure that there is absolute peace in the city. We are grateful to you. We look unto you, Father, for next year, that, Lord, you will enable them the more, you will empower them the more, and you will help everyone, every stakeholder, Lord, to cooperate with them so that the achievement of this coming year will be far greater than what they have reported. Thank you, Father, for everyone in this meeting and those viewing online. Bless everyone, bless every home, bless the city, bless the kingdom of Eswatini. Thank you, Father, because you have answered. And as we all go right now, you will go with us. You will keep us from all dangers. Thank you because you have answered. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.